And what if I told you that the secret to recovering your energy, stamina, and even your masculine vitality after 60 isn't in expensive treatments or sophisticated supplements, but in a small pill that costs just 12 cents? It seems impossible, doesn't it? However, men all over Brazil are discovering that a simple vitamin forgotten on pharmacy shelves can restore the vitality they thought they'd lost forever. It's not magic, it's science, and it's transforming lives in ways that few doctors talk about. My name is Dr. Miguel Amorim. I'm a urologist and specialist in men's health with over 30 years of experience, helping men regain strength, confidence, and performance in a completely natural way. I've spent my career studying what really happens in the male body as the years go by. And I can say with certainty that the problem isn't age itself, but what it silently takes from your body. Here's what surprises most men. The vitamin your body needs most to generate energy and vigor is exactly the one that's lost the most after 60. It's cheap, accessible, and available everywhere, but almost no one talks about it. That's the paradox. How can something so simple, so small, and so inexpensive hold the key to your body's power? In this video, I'll reveal what that vitamin is, how it reactivates your energy and circulation, and the safe way to use it to rebuild strength, focus, and desire. And stick with me until the end because I'll also share a simple nighttime habit that enhances its effects during sleep, providing energy and vitality that you might not have felt in decades. Before we start, click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos created especially to help men over 60 recover their strength, energy, and confidence naturally. If this topic resonates with you, write 1 in the comments to let me know you're watching. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me create more useful and targeted content for you. Now, let's understand the truth behind why so many men start losing energy, strength, and desire after 60. It's not just aging, nor just a drop in testosterone. There's something much deeper happening inside your cells. Something that silently drains your vitality day after day. Let me explain what's really going on. 1. The true cause of energy decline after 60. When most men reach this age, they start feeling a change that's hard to explain. Mornings feel heavier. The stamina that used to come naturally now requires effort. Simple activities like climbing stairs, playing with grandchildren, or focusing on something start to feel more tiring than they should. Many blame aging or low testosterone, but the truth is much more surprising. After over 3 decades treating patients, I've learned that this decline doesn't start in the muscles or hormones. It starts inside the cells. Think of each cell in your body as a small engine. It needs fuel to function. As the years pass, the stomach produces less acid, and the body gradually loses the ability to absorb essential nutrients. Over time, the body stops receiving the raw materials needed to generate energy. You keep eating and going about your normal routine, but your cells are silently starving. The result: constant fatigue, lack of motivation, mental fog, and that frustrating feeling of weakness that no amount of rest seems to fix. Most men don't even imagine that the real culprit behind all this isn't testosterone. The problem lies in the lack of specific micronutrients, those that once kept your metabolism revved up and your blood flowing freely. And among all these nutrients, one stands out above the rest: an essential vitamin that controls how much your body converts food into energy, repairs muscles, and fuels the brain. I've treated many men who came to my office convinced they were just getting old. But a few weeks after correcting this hidden deficiency, they rediscovered the stamina and vigor they thought they'd lost forever. It's not age that steals your strength, it's the lack of attention to what your body really needs. And the best part? This problem can be solved simply, safely, and cheaply. So, what is this forgotten nutrient that can reignite the power you had before? The answer is surprisingly small. A vitamin that costs just 12 cents and might be on your pharmacy shelf right now. 2. The 12-cent vitamin that changes everything. When I started practicing medicine, I never imagined that one of the most powerful tools for restoring masculine energy would come in such a simple form. I remember a patient, Roberto, 68 years old, who came to me a few years ago. He was pale, tired, and said, "Doctor, I feel like my body is running on empty." He'd already tried everything: expensive supplements, energy drinks, and even testosterone injections, but nothing really worked. When we analyzed his tests, we discovered something I'd see hundreds of times afterward: a severe deficiency in vitamin B12. A few weeks after correcting that deficiency, the transformation was impressive. Roberto returned to the office with a smile on his face and said, "Doctor, it's been a long time since I felt this alive." That's when I started paying more attention to this tiny but extraordinary nutrient. Vitamin B12, also known as cobalamin, costs just 12 cents per dose and is available in practically every pharmacy. Still, many treat it as just another vitamin, but what it does inside your body is simply incredible. It helps cells produce energy, supports nerve function, improves oxygen transport, and keeps blood flowing healthily. It's the invisible fuel that your heart, brain, and muscles need to work well. When B12 levels drop, the body loses the ability to transport oxygen efficiently. Cells literally start suffocating from the inside, causing fatigue, weakness, lack of focus, and yes, even issues in intimate life. But when you replenish this vitamin, it's like starting up a stalled engine. Blood starts circulating with force again, muscles become firmer, and the mind clears up. And the best part? No miraculous treatment or complicated routine is needed. Just a small tablet taken regularly can completely transform how you feel in a few weeks. I've seen this happen countless times with my patients, and every time it feels like a true fresh start. So, if a simple vitamin can reignite your body's engine so powerfully, imagine what happens when we understand the science behind how it restores strength, circulation, and masculine vitality. That's exactly what we'll discover next. Strength and vitality aren't just about muscles or testosterone. They come from the energy inside your cells. And that's where vitamin B12 becomes a true silent hero. Inside every cell are structures called mitochondria, known as the body's power plants. They're what turn the food you eat into usable energy, called ATP, the essential fuel of life. But these power plants can't function without a fundamental component: vitamin B12. When levels of this vitamin drop, it's like trying to start a car without fuel or a spark plug. The engine tries to turn over, but just can't. Everything starts to slow down: metabolism, blood circulation, and even mental clarity. That's why so many men with B12 deficiency describe feeling slow, confused, and disconnected, as if their body and mind aren't in sync anymore. But when this vitamin is restored, it's like the whole body wakes up again. Blood carries oxygen more efficiently. Muscles get the energy they desperately need, and the nervous system starts transmitting signals with more strength and speed. And here's the most fascinating part: vitamin B12 stimulates the body to produce nitric oxide, a natural substance that relaxes and dilates blood vessels. This means better circulation not just for the heart and brain, but also for the areas that define masculinity. In other words, B12 doesn't just make you feel alive, it helps your body act alive again. I have seen many men who believed their days of passion were over rediscover their vitality when this process was restored. It's not a miracle, it's just your body returning to how it was meant to function from the start. But there's a paradox in all this. Nearly half of men over 60 have dangerously low levels of this vital vitamin, and many don't even suspect it. This silent deficiency is the next point we need to discuss. 4. The hidden deficiency that most men ignore. I've lost count of how many times a patient has sat in front of me and said, "Doctor, I think I'm just getting old." They say it with a certain resignation, as if accepting the loss of energy and enthusiasm is inevitable. But every time I hear those words, I feel deep frustration because I know that in most cases, it's not age stealing their vitality, it's a hidden deficiency that sets in gradually over the years. And the most common of all is precisely the lack of vitamin B12. What makes this deficiency so dangerous is its subtlety. It doesn't hit suddenly, it drains your strength little by little. One day you notice it's harder to get out of bed. A few weeks later, your legs feel heavier. Concentration wanes, mood swings without apparent reason. Maybe you feel a slight tingling in your hands or feet, or notice that sleep isn't as restorative as before. These signs aren't just consequences of age, they're alerts from your body showing that your cells aren't getting the energy and oxygen they need to function well. The statistics are concerning. About 40% of men over 60 have low or borderline B12 levels. And the most alarming thing is that few have ever been tested. This happens because with aging, the body loses some of its ability to absorb this vitamin. The stomach produces less acid, and even if you eat well, much of the B12 in food never reaches the bloodstream. Over time, this silent drain leads to constant fatigue, muscle weakness, poor circulation, and even intimate performance issues. Meanwhile, the doctor looks at your tests and says everything's normal. But here's the good news. This isn't permanent damage, it's completely reversible. And the most impressive part is that the solution is so simple, it almost seems unfair. It's literally on the shelves of your pharmacy, waiting to return life and energy to your body. So, how exactly can you recover your energy and vitality safely, step by step? That's what I'll show you now. 5. The doctor's step-by-step protocol. Whenever I see a man complaining of constant fatigue, lack of motivation, or that silent loss of strength, I say the same thing. We don't need to guess. We can measure what's missing and rebuild everything precisely. The first step is awareness. I ask all men over 60 to get a blood test to check their vitamin B12 levels. It's a quick, cheap, and extremely revealing test. Most patients are shocked by the result. "Doctor, how can I be so below normal?" they ask. But the truth is, this happens to almost everyone over time. The healthy range for men this age should be above 500 picograms per milliliter. But most arrive at the office with much lower values, and that's where the real transformation begins. I recommend starting with 1,000 micrograms of vitamin B12 every morning. No injections or complicated treatments, just a simple sublingual tablet that dissolves easily. Look for methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin forms. They're safe, proven, and effective. Take it on an empty stomach right after waking when the body is most ready to absorb and use the nutrients throughout the day. And most importantly, be consistent. There's no need to overload the body all at once. The secret is in small daily doses that nourish your cells from the inside out. After 2 to 4 weeks, something extraordinary usually happens. The mental fog starts to lift, mornings feel lighter, you feel firmer, with more energy, focus, and control over your own body. I have seen this process happen countless times, and every time it reminds me of a great truth. Healing doesn't always mean adding something new. Often, it's just giving back to the body what it always needed. But there's one last secret I share with my patients, something that multiplies their results even more. It's a simple nighttime technique that allows the body to repair, recover, and renew while you sleep. And when you combine this nighttime habit with your morning vitamin, the difference is undeniable. 6. The nighttime combination that boosts results. When I started recommending vitamin B12 to my older patients, I noticed something fascinating. The power of this vitamin increases even more when paired with the right bedtime ritual. See, B12 fuels your body during the day. It awakens cells, improves oxygenation, and keeps the mind sharp. But the body doesn't just need energy, it also needs recovery. And that's exactly what happens during sleep. The secret is preparing the body at night so it can rebuild everything spent during the day. When this preparation is done right, regeneration becomes deeper, rest more restorative, and the body wakes up renewed. One night, a patient named Henrique, 71 years old, told me, "Doctor, I feel great in the morning after my B12 dose, but at night I'm completely exhausted." I smiled and replied, "That happens because you're charging the battery but not allowing it to rest as it needs." So I introduced him to a simple but powerful addition, magnesium before bed. This mineral helps blood vessels relax, reduces muscle tension, and promotes deep restorative sleep. Plus, magnesium plays a silent but essential role in regulating testosterone and improving circulation, especially when combined with vitamin B12. In just 2 weeks, Enrique noticed the difference. He slept better, woke up with more energy, and his confidence had returned. Magnesium can be taken in capsules, but an even better option is to combine it with a calming tea made from ashwagandha, ginger, or ginseng. These herbs help calm the nervous system, reduce nighttime stress hormones, and allow the body to enter a true state of deep recovery. Think of it as your body's reset button. Vitamin B12 ignites the energy, magnesium keeps it stable, and restorative sleep renews it. It's a cycle that rebuilds your strength from the inside out. I always tell my patients that when they master this rhythm, energizing during the day and regenerating at night, the body starts to feel decades younger. But this transformation isn't just physical. There's something much deeper that happens when a man starts feeling alive again. Because when you recover your energy, the next step is reclaiming your identity. And that's exactly what we'll talk about now. 7. Reclaiming your masculinity and living fully after 60. There's a moment I'll never forget. A patient named Jorge, 65 years old, entered my office with his hands clasped, visibly shaken. He said, "Doctor, I don't feel like the man I used to be. I'm always tired, without confidence, and my wife keeps asking what's happening to me." I looked at him and replied, "Jorge, you're still the same man. He's just hidden under years of fatigue, and we're going to awaken him again." And that's exactly what happened after restoring his B12 levels, adopting a healthy routine, and rebalancing his body. Jorge returned to the office with his head held high, a smile on his face, and contagious energy. He told me, "Doctor, I finally feel like myself again." That's what reclaiming your masculinity means. It has nothing to do with trying to look young or pretending to be 25 again. It's about reconnecting with the strength, purpose, and confidence that have always been inside you. It's looking in the mirror and feeling proud, not just for what you see, but for what you feel. When energy returns, everything changes. Your posture, your voice, your laugh, even the way you love. You start feeling like living again, not just getting through the day. I've witnessed this transformation countless times. men who believed their best years were behind them, rediscovering the joy of living. They start traveling again, pick up forgotten hobbies, rebuild relationships, and live with genuine happiness. The body may age, but the spirit doesn't have to. When you give your body what it really needs, it rewards you with strength, clarity, and vitality beyond what you imagined possible. And as we approach the end of this message, I want to leave you with a powerful reflection. This isn't just about vitamins or routines, it's about rewriting the story of what it means to live fully after 60. And that new story, my friend, starts right now. Conclusion. Your second chapter begins today. When I look back and remember all the men I've treated over the years, one thing always stands out. The turning point never came from a miracle drug or a complicated treatment. It always started with a decision, the decision to no longer accept fatigue, weakness, and decline as normal. The decision to take back control of your health, body, and confidence. And in most cases, it all began with something simple: a single vitamin. That little 12-cent pill may seem insignificant, but within it lies the power of science, capable of reigniting what time tried to extinguish: your strength, your focus, and your will to live fully again. Vitamin B12 is much more than a nutrient. It's a reminder that your body still has enormous potential waiting to be awakened. When you fuel it with the right stuff, the cells respond. They create energy, repair damage, and restore the balance that was lost. Fatigue starts to fade, mornings become lighter, and that spark of life that seemed extinguished shines again. Combine this with consistency, good sleep, and a bit of faith in yourself, and you'll realize that age isn't a limit. It's just a new chapter, one you can write your own way. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s rediscover the strength they thought they'd lost forever. They walk with their chests out, laugh louder, love with more intensity. Not because they became young again, but because they recovered the vitality that gives life meaning. And that's exactly what I want for you. Before you go on with your day, make a commitment to yourself. Don't accept living without energy, without spark, without life anymore. Go to the pharmacy, buy your bottle of vitamin B12. Take it every morning and give your body the chance to prove how strong it still is. Because this isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your second chapter. And believe me, it could be the best one yet. M.